Hello and welcome everyone. Elena Rarick here with etransforminternational.com and transformpublish.com. Here today again with one of our best clients, Allyson Blythe. Hello, Allyson. How are you?
Hi, Elena. I'm fantastic. Thanks.
Good to have you. And our special guest is Allyson's daughter, Kaylee, who we're really excited to hear from today. So hello and welcome, Kaylee. How are you?
Hi, Elena. I'm great. I'm feeling good. I'm excited. Get to talk about my mama a little bit, so that's always good.
That is, and we are excited to pick your brain and spill the
Yeah.
beans about her. Give us some juicy stuff today. So, are you ready to be in the hot seat, Kaylee?
I'm ready.
Good. And Allyson, are you ready to hear whatever she has to say?
I think so.
All right. Well, brace yourself. Well, just last week we talked with Allyson's mom, Connie. So if you didn't see that interview, definitely go back to the archives and check that out because we're going to build upon that today by hearing from her daughter, Kaylee. So, Kaylee, from the top, how would you best describe your mom?
The one word that really just comes to mind is 100% just strong. I've seen my mom at highs, I've seen my mom at lows, and everywhere in between. And the transformation has just been incredible. And just to see that happen, just strong, it's it touches my heart. It makes me emotional in times, but overall, just watching a transformation throughout your life has, and to truly have it right in front of you, amazing. So strong for sure.
That's good. And so she was a good role model there with her strength. So I'm guessing you're a pretty strong woman as well. Yes?
Yes, ma'am. I try my best.
Awesome. Well, I know throughout your life, your mom has taught you many lessons, but can you give us one really profound lesson that you'll carry with you the rest of your life that your mom, Allyson, has taught you?
100% it has to be to show up for yourself. One thing that I have struggled with in my life is showing up for myself and seeing my mom. Again, I'm going to talk about this transformation probably the entire time because it truly is incredible to see, and then to watch her show up for herself and see what has happened in that time. Why wouldn't you be inspired by that? And to see it firsthand, to see everything happen and unfold exactly, not exactly how she wanted it, but in the end got the same result and seen exactly what can happen. It's been so great. And it inspires me, if I show up for myself and that happened with her, what can happen for me? So
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well said. What a great lesson to be taught by a mother. Allyson, I want to kind of put you on the spot here, if you don't mind. When I hear her say show up for herself, people who might be new to personal development or to what it is you teach, they might not have read your book yet. Can you explain a little bit of what it means to show up for yourself?
Definitely. I spent a lot of my years focusing on other people, what they wanted, what they needed, what they thought. So much external focus, and having hit this point of that I started the whole line of I lost my shit over a banana, that awakening for me, in which I kind of looked around and I went, what am I doing and why am I doing it and who am I doing it for? It was a real painful awakening, and Kaylee did witness some of that, the muck and the beauty of all of that. And so showing up for yourself, really, I would say, is the idea of tuning in to take a really clear look and starting to prioritize what you need, what's in your best interest, and really outlining that at the end of the book in that SOS, that sense of self toolbox, I think summarizes actual tools to be able to show up for yourself.
Great explanation. Thank you for that. Sorry to put you on the spot, but you know how these interviews with me go. You're always put on the spot somewhere.
Unpredictable.
But it's because I want the viewers to get the best of everything. So, Kaylee, back to you. What is it like overall being Allison's daughter?
It is so much fun. It, I was joking with her the other day and I said, you know, when I was a kid, I really didn't appreciate you that much. But now that I'm an adult, well, I say adult, you know,
You're
I
an
feel like an adult, but not every day. So overall, I really just say the appreciation that I have for her has grown over the years. So much more. As a kid, of course, you never want to listen to your mom. You never want to take their advice. And then now being a young adult, looking back and saying, she might have been right here and there. Oof, right? So to it's been so fun.
Very good. So how old are you, Kaylee? May I ask?
I'm 22.
22. So I'm going to put you on the spot too. Sometimes I just want a little more information. So, what age do you think you might have been at when you started to realize that you were no longer that teenager who was always right and perhaps mom was right a little bit? 22 this year. Allison said 22.
Yeah,
Would you?
we still have go back and forth sometimes, but no, overall, I would have to say like 16. Once I hit that point of just kind of hitting the real world, you know, I went to college at 17, so I was ready to embrace the world. And then when I saw the world, I was like, oh, never mind. And then kind of reverted back to a lot of things that she had said. And obviously, we talk very often. So just to say, like, hey, mom, like, what should I do? And that's not something that I would have done before.
That's
So,
that's fantastic. Do you find yourself calling your mom quite a bit on the phone saying, "Hey, here's the situation. Help. What should I do?"
yeah, so that is actually something that I'm working on because for me personally, I don't want to reach out. And that's a big thing that she has also taught me, and she has provided that space for me to say, hey, you don't have to do everything alone, because I want to revert back to oops, you know, like I just figure it out, that's how I do things, and that's not always the best. And she has provided that space, she's given me the tools, and I think this book is also has a ton of tools for that as well. So just again, show up for yourself, be who you need to be, and being okay with that. So yes.
Very cool. Well, what I'm seeing here is I can see Kaylee someday. I don't think you have kids yet, correct? Yes, someday you'll have kids and be able to pass that book down to them too, right? So
Yes, of
it's the gift that keeps on giving and will impact generations to come for your family, Allison. So
I sure hope so.
good job. Good job. So speaking of her book, Allison's book, Misunderstood, I am guessing that you have read it, but my question is, have you read it? And if so, what are some of the key takeaways that you got from the book?
I think it's interesting with this because obviously we, being her daughter, we talk a lot, we kind of have this thing, but just to have it available and kind of revert back to, like, even if, you know, normal mother-daughter relationship, I don't want to call her up that day, I'm going to run to that. I'm going to say, hey, this is something I'm struggling with. Maybe it's my mom. I don't always want my mom to know everything. So I'm always like, how can I go do and handle certain situations like that? So I think overall, just having a solid resource and it being available to me 24/7 in book form, that has just been the best available possibility.
Very
So
nice. So I'm going to put you on the spot again just a little bit, Kaylee, because I did ask Allison's mom, your grandmother.
yes.
Now, in Allison's book, she talks about how she's an empath, and your grandmother, Connie, can really relate to being an empath as well. Did that also trickle down to you? Do you have those empath qualities?
I most definitely do. And a lot of it for me was I didn't have a name for it, right? For so many years, I would just be drained at the end of the day because I, again, wasn't showing up for myself. I was worried about this person, that person, this responsibility that wasn't even really my responsibility. And overall, to just have that and say, okay, to have a name for it definitely helped the most. Like, oh, I'm not crazy. I'm not alone in that situation. And then to relate it back to my mom and say, oh, this in certain situations, she was having the same trouble, I guess you could say. And connecting over that has really helped us a lot because she can kind of see where I'm coming from. I can see where she's coming from in certain situations. Whereas before it would just be like, you are acting crazy. Why are you acting crazy? And we're like we'll text each other sometimes like, who had a hard day? Sucks being an empath, like things like that. So it's very common and we understand it now, but before that wasn't really possible, I guess. But just even having the name has been great.
Yes, being able to label what's going on inside,
Yeah.
and I can relate, not to bring this conversation to me. However, people are watching and they might have been like you or like myself where I didn't know what an empath was until I started publishing books and a lot of my clients would write about it and I was then able to put a label to it and I was no longer the emotional crazy person, right? Because no, I'm an empath. I feel very deeply. So anybody watching, if you aren't quite sure what an empath is, or you might be having those feelings too, definitely get Allison's book, Misunderstood, and really learn more about it so you can learn more about yourself. So, Allison, I'm sure you don't mind that little plug I just did for you,
No,
but
not at all. I think it's being an empath is one of the most beautiful ways to navigate through the world. But if you don't navigate it, it can truly destroy you. And I think Kaylee shared a little bit about that with just the exhaustion and the overwhelm, feeling crazy or like something's wrong with you. That's so much of where the title came from, is because now that I do understand the wiring of being an empath, it's so empowering to navigate the empathic abilities rather than just kind of being wide open and available for everybody. And the more boundaried you are, the more empathic you'll be able to be.
very good, very true. So, you've known your mom for 22 years, and
Yes.
we know that people change. So, what are some of the changes that you have seen in your mom, Allison, over the years?
For me personally, my mom has done a complete 180. And we used to joke all the time, Mom, I'm sorry, I have to do it. She would get home from work and she'd be like, okay, we would joke and we'd say, you've been listening all day at work, you come home and you don't want to listen. So then, I'd be like, oh, well, I had a rough day being an empath. I really did, not having a name for it. And then now I can truly call her up and be like, Mom, you're never going to believe what happened. And it just could be something so simple. And she shows up with love, she shows up with grace, and I'll keep repeating this, but she provides the space for me. And that's not something that has always been there. And to have that there and to be accepted and loved and met with just such, hey, it's been amazing. And I feel like it has helped our relationship. I feel like she has gone leaps and bounds above anything I could have ever expected. And I'm so, so happy about it. So, yeah.
That is a really neat perspective. The really important thing that I caught that you said is for all you viewers who might be new to following Allison, she is a licensed clinical social worker. So when you said she listens all day to people's problems and woes and misery and then comes home and you had your own miseries and you want to dump on your mom and you need her, Allison, that had to have been exhausting. Like,
Totally. And what I realized is not being boundaried, I was giving to people and of course and doing your job, right? But being really mindful of what I had left in order to take care of me so that I could take better care of her. And that's been a learned process because I gave at the office was a very real energetic dynamic by the time I got home. And then realizing that I'm completely depleted for the person who actually mattered the most. Not anymore because one, I'm way more boundaried, and two, the ability to regulate the empath, right? So
yeah.
yeah, I'm glad you see the difference, babe.
Yeah, that is really insightful because especially with your line of work being an empath,
Mhm.
it has to be much harder on you than someone who's in your line of work who's not an empath and can separate that really easy. So, wow, you are a strong woman. I'm going to circle us back to her first answer. That takes a very strong woman. So, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, Kaylee, your
Yeah.
mom, as I said, is a licensed clinical social worker. She is a program developer. You know all these programs she's developing, right? Yes,
Yes.
I got to test drive them and they are transformational and completely life-changing. She is a life coach and she is now an author who is working on her second book because I'm telling her she has to. So I yes, yes. So as her daughter, how does it feel to have a mother who's so successful and accomplished?
It's amazing. And I think just having, like you said, being a strong woman, on top of that, doing this and this, and she just doesn't stop. She'll come, she'll say, "Hey, guess what I just did?" And it's something I would never even think to do. She's like, "Hey, I just wrote half a book in my morning and I've had 3 cups of coffee. I'm ready to go." And I'm like, "Let's do it." Just being excited and to see it. And again, just being that role model that I don't feel like a lot of women see or have, girls growing up and being able to say, "Hey, my mom did this, this, and this." That's awesome. I flaunt that. I love that. Right.
Mhm.
So,
So, as your friends, they see you and your mom, this author and everything. Do your friends typically have something to say about that? Like, wow, your mom wrote a book, or does that ever come up in conversation?
absolutely. At my before I started my career job, I had this I worked at a wholesale store and I was very good friends with everyone there. My mom loved everyone there. And when she dropped the book, several people from my work bought the book and were so excited. I was like passing it around. We were all taking pictures with it. So like just to even see that other people can appreciate and truly see her value is so incredible.
Awesome. So I'm going to throw a real curveball at you, Kaylee.
All right.
Do you have a goal in your life to write a book?
No.
Okay. So that's where we're a little different. I found it.
That is okay.
All right, let's
Because
see if
I feel my calling is definitely teaching. And I think my mom does that through her books. For
Mhm.
me, I'm a little bit more hands on. And I think that's awesome. I love the fact that she's able to model, to educate, because trust me, I know how hard education can be in certain situations. But the fact that you're able to communicate that through a book and still be able to have an amazing effect and transform people's lives, that's a that's incredible in and of itself. I don't think that's a skill that I have quite yet, but that's okay. And it's definitely something that I've just seen take off in her, especially in the past year or so. So yeah.
very good, very good. All right, I want to throw a little curveball at both of you because I'm having too much fun with you. So I hear some differences, I hear some similarities. So let's play a little game and see if we can see how alike you are and how different you are. And I'll keep it very basic, nothing embarrassing. Okay.
Like my mom.
She was great. I love the stuff she revealed. If you didn't see it, she revealed that Allison liked to kiss frogs. So there's lots more than that in there. So definitely go back and watch it in the archives. Let's start with I heard you say, Allison, or Kaylee, I heard you say your mom drinks like 3 cups of coffee and she writes half a book in a morning and all this. Kaylee, how do you drink your coffee? And then Allison, when she's done, how do you drink your coffee? Let's see if it's the same.
It is. My mom, I love you. She did give me a coffee pot recently, so that has been amazing. But I drink it with a whole bunch of sugar and a whole bunch of cream. So go ahead, mom.
I have a splash of cream. That's it. Not the same. I always say, do you want some coffee with your sugar and cream?
That is great. That is great. Allison, you and I are same on our coffee. I mean, it's almost black, but I just need that little bit of splash in there.
Yep.
Very cool. All right. Kaylee, what's your favorite color?
Purple.
Allison?
Purple.
Ah, that's good. Now, do your favorite colors change? Mine changes all the time. I just get tired of a color and like a different one. Or has it always been purple for both of you?
I
Oh,
think mine's always been purple.
yeah. Mine has been for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Kaylee, what is your favorite type of movie to watch?
Favorite type of movie? Definitely a good romantic comedy.
Oh, Allison?
um, Kind of like criminal mind type thing, like probably very psychologically based.
Very good. What's your favorite snack to eat, Kaylee, while you watch a movie?
Popcorn.
Allison?
Yep.
Popcorn.
Popcorn. Very good. What kind of music do you like to listen to, Kaylee?
Rap and hip hop.
Allison?
Hip hop and classic rock.
Ah, very good. Let's see. I don't have any more questions. That's
Kaylee, have
it.
you ever kissed a frog?
Oh, there you go.
Never.
Well, the other thing your grandmother revealed to us about your mom is that she shaved the side of her head one time. Kaylee, have you ever shaved the side of your head or felt led to shave the side of your head?
Definitely not. My hair touches my butt. I refuse, but I know she rocked it. I've seen the pictures. She was so cool. And she created the style like 20 years before the actual style happened. So
That's right. I had the
trend.
sides shaved and I could pull it up. You remember the banana clips? We had banana
Yeah.
clips. And yeah, my sides were all shaved. I did have I have this little bit of an edge that I don't think Kaylee really has.
That's awesome. You know, banana clips are back. I'm seeing them in stores.
I should have kept mine.
I'll mail you one. All right. Well, ladies, thank you for letting me throw curveballs at you. Kaylee, I should have warned you. Allison, you're used to that with me. But I had a lot of fun with both of you. I'm sure you viewers also really enjoyed this. It's really great to get to know Allison on a personal level, outside of all the intellect that she pours into helping so many people around the world. And Allison, I also want to say congratulations to you because your book did hit the international catalog this year. So it is now in front of 40,000 different publishers in all the different languages to pick up. So that's more exciting news for you. And keep on developing those programs. They're awesome. If you are watching this and you are not familiar with what the heck I'm talking about, go to AllisonBlythe.com. And that is ALLYSONBLYTHE.com and get your hands on a copy of her book, Misunderstood. You can learn all about it on her website. You can buy it right from the website. And there are a ton of programs that she also has on the website that you can purchase, log in, and take the course online and be able to do that. It's like life coaching done by yourself in your the privacy you have. You don't have to share your answers with anybody. They're really awesome courses. And she does have a program coming out that I was the test dummy for and absolutely loved. It has changed my life. I think I called her maybe 20 times throughout it going, "Oh my gosh, I just discovered this. This is so great." And that is called the Dishonoring Peas. And at the time of this live stream, it is not for sale yet, but I will say make sure you check the website because it will be out very, very soon. All right, that's it. Kaylee, thanks again for being here and being in the hot seat. If
Thank
you're
you.
out of your comfort zone a little bit, I apologize, but we really, really were blessed by you being here. So thank you.
Thanks, babe.
Thank you.
And Allison, always great to see you. And I'll see you on the other side of the camera.
Okay.
All right, have a great one, everyone.
Good.